Perhaps the late J. Krishnamurti said it best when he asks us to inquire together with him what it is to worship another. The worshipper is the worshipped. The worshipper is the worshipped. To worship another is to worship oneself. The image, the symbol, is a projection of oneself. After all, your idol, your book, your prayer, is the reflection of your background. It is your creation, though it be made by another. You choose according to your gratification, your choice is your prejudice. Your image is your intoxicant, and it is carved out of your own memory. You are worshipping yourself through the image created by your own thought. Your devotion is the love of yourself covered over by the chant of your mind. The picture is yourself, it is the reflection of your mind. Such devotion is a form of self-deception that only leads to sorrow and to isolation, which is death. Is search devotion? To search after something is not to search, to seek truth is not to find it. We escape from ourselves through search, which is illusion. We try in every way to take flight from what we are. In ourselves we are so petty, so essentially nothing, and the worship of something greater than ourselves is as petty and stupid as we are. Identification with the great is still a projection of the small. The more is an extension of the less. The small in search of the large will find only what it is capable of finding. The escapes are many and various, but the mind in escape is still fearful, narrow and ignorant. The understanding of escape is the freedom from what is. The what is can be understood only when the mind is no longer in search of an answer. The search for an answer is an escape from what is. This search is called by various names, one of which is devotion, but to understand what is, the mind must be silent. Literally, atheists don't worship anyone or anything, but if you really want to hear something, I would say science and scientists. They do believe they can explain almost everything about life and universe through the way of science. In addition, I said, almost, because Dawkins says that, science shouldn't try to answer what is right and what is wrong. Science cannot explain that kind of philosophical questions. Another thing that I want to mention is the word of worship is too strong to use for atheists, because when you use worship for anything, these things are not changeable anymore in a faith. For example, simply, if you are a Muslim or a Christian, you cannot change the principle of your holy book. However, science is developing by scientists, so it is changing every day. So, you shouldn't say that they worship anything or anyone because they just follow modifiable science. We don't usually. While the only hard requirement is not believing in a deity or deities of any kind, most atheists tend to worldviews that don't really include anything you could worship, so, we don't worship anything. That said, it's theoretically possible that you could have an atheist who worships something that isn't a deity. Like ancestor worship could be a feasible thing that an atheist could worship. But, like I said, that'd be pretty unlikely. Most atheists approach their beliefs from a very reason and evidence-based framework, and the same logical thought processes that lead to not believing in deities usually applies to everything supernatural.